Part 33, Why Solitudes Are Necessary. Listen to a part of the sayings from Spiritual Energies with the topic, Why Solitudes Are Necessary, by Lubisha Stoyanovich, who transferred the sayings received in deep meditation to the book Enlightenment. One of the solitudes was realized by Lubisha back in 2008. The energy cloud announced to me that it is necessary for me to go into solitude in mid-April. That is why I asked the keys of sacred knowledge to give me more detailed instructions and an explanation regarding this solitude. What your question contains is an introduction to solitude. First of all, it is necessary for you to understand what it is intended for. The energy cloud has already told you that, but it is necessary to explain it to you in more detail, so that you can succeed in this as much as possible. Namely, by entering solitude, you enable spiritual energies to help you realize those powers that you have acquired with your spiritual level. They are now blocked, they cannot develop, they cannot be realized for the simple reason that it is necessary for the level of spiritual possibilities to be fully realized at least at one point. This means that at least once you experience a situation in which these powers can be developed in you, blossomed, realized, so that later you can realize them even in moments that are not ideal, like in moments of solitude. It means that you have to experience it once, it has to be an experience, not just knowledge about the possibilities. This is a huge difference, because the realization of that knowledge is not possible under the usual circumstances of the everyday situation in which modern people in the West live. That is why this solitude, and perhaps some others, are necessary in order to realize these powers piece by piece, in order to raise it to the level of realization. Otherwise, the penetration of power into the level of realization would be very slow, it would take a long time, it would tap unnecessarily almost in place, moving forward relatively slowly. In order to avoid this, isolation of a few days can really resolve a large number of stagnations, blockages, slowing down of powers that are there, that are ready to be realized and that do not require any further spiritual progress of yours, because they have already been conquered and can be realized at this level of development. This is the main and only reason why you go into isolation. In addition, it could be stated, as a secondary, that you see, make sure that in that atmosphere of isolation for you, possibilities simply flow, appear by themselves, offer realization by themselves, which means that a life that would be much more peaceful than the one you lead, in a spiritual sense, to be much more fruitful, incomparably more efficient, which you should also think about while you are alone. This means that you cannot lead such a busy fragmented life, full of little things, stresses, jumping from topic to topic, from area to area, from place to place, which resembles a feverish behavior to spiritual energies and which in no way corresponds to what is required from spiritually highly developed people, because it is simply not possible to realize your spirituality in such conditions, which practically loses its significance because it is not given for the sake of that person, but for him to realize it. The treasury of sacred knowledge is grateful for your interest and sends you a lot of spiritual patience and love.